Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. It's the US Open draw, and it's our reaction to it. And you'll probably be pleased to know I haven't even seen it yet. So you're going to be getting some real reaction as we go through this. We've been super busy with work. Sorry we haven't brought you a podcast this week up until now, but we could not miss this. So, JG, excited to go through this one.
Well, we've tried, but it's just been so busy. I've not had a real good look myself. I've tried to keep up to date on Twitter with some of the first round matches, but we're going to look at all of them anyway on this podcast. We will be, of course, doing the draw bracket preview video. I'm not sure when, maybe weekend time. Once we know all the qualifiers and where they fit into the draw. So make sure to join us in the bracket. The link is in the description and you can join, and we will be giving a prize for the winner of the US Open. But the big thing about this one, obviously, no Rafa, no Serena, no Federer, no Venus. First time since 1997. And just to put that into perspective, Tsitsipas wasn't born.
Madness. This is just crazy, and he is obviously going to be the third seed for this tournament. Mate,
it's going to be a very different feel. Some of these players we've been used to seeing in Grand Slams aren't there, but there is one man who is there, Novak Djokovic. We're starting off with the men's one. We'll be doing the women's one after this. And Novak Djokovic going for the Grand Slam this year. He's already won 3 of the slams. Is he going to get number 4? Let's have a look. I think we'll start off with the big man himself and where he is in the draw.
Yep.
Let me just add it to the stream. And there you go. The number 1 seed. First off against a qualifier. Wow. Could he have asked for much more?
Well, you never know who the qualifier might be. Who knows? Marchenko, he might sneak through and get in there. I saw he was doing all right in the qualifying. Yeah, you couldn't really handpick that one any better, could you? And I feel sorry for the qualifier, really. I mean, you probably get a nice big match on a show court and get your name in the lights for a change, but you're probably going out straight away, most likely. And look who's up potentially next. As if we've never seen it before. Jan-Lennard Struff in the early rounds.
God, how annoying is it? It's always going to be Struff Djokovic early doors, and it's going to be the same result. I know he's going to breadstick in one of the sets, not sure which one. He's got 3 options to do it. And I think it's going to be a very simple one. And on Djokovic's draw here, we'd have to look through some of the names. You've got Kai Nishikori, someone who sort of stands out. Did they face off at the Olympics?
Yeah, I believe so, right? I think it was
I remember it was covered
beating, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he absolutely got demolished. I can't see it going any better for him at the US Open. Goffin doesn't really fill me with much confidence as a seed. If you've got a seeded player like Goffin in your half, you're doing all right. And no offense to him, I think he's class, but he's not hitting the forms right now. Aslan Karatsev, about 6 months ago, we would have probably said, oh, it could be quite tough for Djokovic. He's already beaten him on the clay in Serbia. But it's not the same man, is it? He's a bit of a shadow. And I think he'll be lucky to even get past Munar, if I'm honest.
No, come on! How dare you? How dare you?
Be realistic. I think Munar could beat Karatsev.
Not for me. He does him all day long. Karatsev. Munar's clay courts through and through. I think Karatsev wipes the court with him. He's the 21st seed, which is great for him. Yeah. Another seed in a tournament. Great for the Russian. And where would he meet Djokovic if they were to go through? So we got potential Struff in the second round there. Then potential, did you say Nishikori? I don't think, maybe McDonald.
Yeah.
Never know. He's been playing really well recently.
We could either see a Nishikori or McDonald, depending on his injury.
Yeah.
But we'll have a little look at Djokovic's route in a sec. I know we've got another tab for that. Let's just get through some of these. You got Brooksby there, the wild card. He could cause some damage. Taylor Fritz. Not the same Taylor Fritz we'd usually expect in this US Open. I don't see him going far. I think he could struggle against Dimonor. He's had a lot of injury concerns with surgery and everything.
Yeah.
And then looking over to the other side, or are we going to do the other side as well?
Go to the top. You got Hubert Hurkacz there. up against Gerasimov. That's not an easy first round match either. Gerasimov, quite a decent player. You got Martin there as well.
So this would be Djokovic's quarterfinal opponent. So he's going to be facing someone from the right-hand side in the quarterfinals. And you'd expect it, for me, looking down the list, to be two names. And that's going to be either Hurkacz or the one right at the bottom, Berrettini. I'm not sure if I can see any of these getting far. You could maybe make a case for Jeremy Sardi doing something special. Or Sonego, And the thing is, if you're Djokovic, he's not going to want to play Sonego.
No, exactly. I mean, he's beaten him before, but when you get to the Grand Slam, that's when it's all different when you're playing in these 5-set matches. Quite interested to Ilya Vashka could be like someone who sneaks through in this little section as well. He's been playing very well of late in that Winston-Salem tournament, same as Mikael Ymer as well. He's been playing really well, beating some good players there in that tournament. I think I had a bit of a mare with Per Murray final, so we'll forget about that. I blame the beers. But anyway, it looks like Berrettini or Hurkacz, like you say. I don't think there's much out of all the people there, not really anybody else of note that could trouble Djokovic, I don't think. I mean, Taylor Fritz maybe, but he's been injured.
But not right now. He's injured and stuff. I think you've got to be looking at as the wild cards and Aslan Karatsev. I don't really think it. I think he's not the same. But if everything clicks for him and he finds his Australian Open form, then you've got to count him. I don't see anyone else on that side who could find any kind of form. Fritz, you'd think, but not right now. And then the other side, there's a few more names. It just depends. I don't see Marton Fucsovics doing anything. We saw him at Wimbledon against Djokovic. It was just embarrassing at times. Hurkacz is the man. I think he loves it out in America on the hard courts.
He does.
He won, what was it? He won Miami. He won Delray Beach at the start.
Yeah.
Kudla's recently played Djokovic. That was one-way traffic as well. I don't see anyone. It's got to be either Berrettini or Hurkacz. Berrettini obviously taking a set off him at the Wimbledon final. So it's a hard one to assess. But the question we posed in the title, is this an easy draw for Djokovic? And looking at some of the other players, you'd expect the number one seed to get a relatively a little bit easier draw than some of the others. But I would say it was. I personally, if you're a Djokovic fan watching this, or Djokovic himself, his team, he's going to be very pleased with what he's been given here today.
Definitely.
The only thing I would sort of go to, which he kind of knew was going to happen anyway, I don't know if you're going to go to the other tab.
Which one? Do you want to the
first one? You can see here, because this is his route potentially based off all the seeding and things. I don't think Goffin's going to be there. That'll probably be who did we say again?
What?
Nishikori maybe or McDonald. I don't think it'll be Goffin. But Zverev semi-finals. He's not going to be able to escape Zverev. And it's not going to be a final. If he plays Zverev, it will be in the semis, and that is the man who everyone fears right now. Looking at it though, I don't understand how Djokovic doesn't make the semis. I think it's very comfortable, plain sailing up until the semi-finals, and I'm gonna put Berrettini in that bracket as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Zverev he's the danger man. He's probably going to be a little bit disappointed that he got the number 4 seed in his side of the draw, really. I mean, normally that would be a bonus if you had the number 4, not the number 3, but not when it's someone who's just beaten you. So Zverev's in his side of the draw. And I think that's the matchup that everyone's going to be wanting to see in the semi-finals. If we get that matchup again, that's going to make headlines, I think. And Zverev is going to go into that match, if it does happen, with a lot of confidence as well after just winning the last tournament. So he goes into this US Open, I would say close, maybe a second favourite, I'd say, even in front of Medvedev. I'm not sure if that's true, though. Probably Medvedev will be second favourite, but for me, I'd have probably Zverev second. Yeah,
I think, we'll get on to the other people's draws, because I know we've been taking a little bit of time. Who do we have next? Zverev. I think it's probably best because it fits nicely with what we've just been talking about. Just before we do that, I know we've got Dava asking, do you know if the top of the draw matches are played on the first day and the bottom half on the second day?
Normally.
I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
I forget. That's normally the way that things are done, in these brackets. So unless they've changed it this year. And most of the other ones I've seen, they've been like that. So,
okay. So looking at Zverev's section, he will be playing Djokovic if he's able to get to the semi-finals. He doesn't escape him it doesn't escape him until then.
yeah.
And looking down some of these names, if we're going to make it a little bit bigger.
Well, that's as big as it was the last time, to be honest.
Was it?
Mate,
Go on the Djokovic one.
Well, yeah,
It's the same.
Exactly the same.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah,
So,
no.
Query, in other years, you'd say that's a little bit... No, it's not for me.
I still think it's not a nice first round match. Query Zverev's a bit of a... It could be a banana skin for some people. He's in the US as well. It's never good to pick these home countrymen in the first rounds. You've seen what Query can do to people when he's serving well, but I think Zverev still has too much for him, surely. He might drop the first set of the tournament as he always does, and then he'll come through in 4 or something.
Yeah, no, I like the look of this draw. You got Steve Johnson there.
Hey.
He's a name what sort of
Big Steve
springs out to me. Bublik as well, another one. If his serve gets going, we could see Zverev Bublik face off. Wildcard Jack Sock, can he do anything? Did well against Rafa recently.
Well, not a nice draw really. Nishioka, he's pretty good on the hard courts, but I think he could still go through a round there, maybe 2 if he plays really well.
We've got to remember, every time we say it's not a nice draw, this is a US Open. This is a Grand Slam. You're not going to get any nice draws. These are the best of the best players playing each other. So you're going to be playing good players. It's just, for me, you want to be playing good players, not in form. Or you want to be playing seeded players who have just had an injury or whatever, or coming back and not
tired. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to look at them factors, because all of these players are seriously good tennis players.
Oh, yeah.
They're the creme de la crop. Is that the saying? Or
the creme de la creme. the cream of the crop.
Yeah, there we go. The creme de la creme of tennis. Who's there? You got Zachary Svajda, young US Open. I don't know if he won at the juniors, did he?
Savadja, I think you could be right there. I know that he's just one I've had my arm for a long time. Just in the past couple of years, he's really one who's impressed me. I watched a few ITFs where he was playing. Very, very impressive young tennis player. He's now, I'm just going to check his age, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And it said, I'm just going to have a quick look through. He said, this victory, it said on the 11th of August 2019, Svajda defeated Nanda to win the USTA Boys 18s National 18s National Championships. This victory earned the 16 at the time a wild card into the main draw of the 2019 US Open. So that making him the youngest player to play the men's US Open since Donald Young in 2005. So he's back again. He's going to be better this time, I think. And it's probably Cecchinato not a bad draw as well. More clay court player. He could go through that one.
Yeah, I actually like his shot, his chances here. I'm glad he's been given an opportunity, because he certainly deserves it. Really big serve. Top, another good American player. I know we've got Brooksby, Nakashima. You've got JJ Wolf, a few of the others we've been talking about recently as well. And he's just another one, a bit younger than some of them, but coming through, and he can cause a lot of damage. So watch out for him.
Indeed. We've got Yannick Sinner there down in...
Thank God, Yannick Sinner avoids a big seed in the first or second round.
Amazing.
He's going to be having either, Cecchinato or Svajda or Purcell first round. So when's the next time he can play someone where he's really going to be troubled? You'd probably think, is there no one below him? I think he's the bottom.
No, that's the
bottom.
So
it will be Zverev. And that is from the hard work he's been putting on the whole tour and moving up the rankings. Because he's been moving through the rankings, he's now got a better seed. So he's able to avoid some of these better players, and he fully deserves it. I'm so happy he makes up the bottom there. And what's that, number 13 seed?
13 seed. And
that's amazing for him.
Only meets Zverev in the 4th round. So
I'm pretty sure that's the highest seed he's ever been in a Grand Slam.
Must be. I mean, there's been a few people obviously drop out as well. So it's helped.
We're going to see a lot of players, I think, some of the younger ones who are seeded and they've never been seeded that high in their whole career.
Yeah.
What I say, use it as an opportunity. And Sinner, he can potentially be playing the round of 16 against Zverev. Can he do it? I don't know. Let's see. He needs to be going there. He needs to be trying to get to that round of 16 match, because he can beat everyone there. No offense to him, he's definitely good enough.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look. Zverev, yeah, I think he goes past Query, goes past. He looks like I quite like Zverev's draw, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's quite nice up until Sinner. I still think he has too much for him. On the other side, we got Carreño Busta.
Well, this will be his quarter-finalist. So who he would be playing in the quarter-final, and Buster's probably the name looking there. I don't know if there's any more who could really get there, but this is a tough side. I would say looking at them names there, I think it is really tough. You've got Kwon-Soon, Apelka, Hatchinoff, Lloyd Harris, just to name a few. Korda, Bassas. Is that Bassasvili as well? Gosh,
Korda Bassasvili first round.
There's some tough ones. And if you want to go down,
look at that.
Tommy Paul and Shapo there as well. Yeah, this is really tough. And I think coming from this side, there could be out of maybe 6 players who could advance and face either a Zverev or Sinner quarterfinal.
I think we got some 5-setters there, if I'm honest, looking at those matches. Hatchinov Harris, I think that's got 5 sets written all over it. Maybe Korda Bassasvili too.
I think you rate Bassasvili a bit high. I think Korda could.
No, I think Korda probably beats him in the US as well.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you rate Bassasvili too high, saying he can get it to 5. I think Korda could potentially get it done in 3.
Maybe
he's that good, especially in the US as well. There's going to be crowds cheering him on. He's seen what his sisters and brothers has he got brothers? I think it's just sisters. They're just smashing it up right now. On the number 1 golfer in the world.
Yeah.
And you'd think we'd get Korda Busta. And I'm not sure how to call that one.
Well,
probably going to go the way of Korda.
I don't know. For me, Busta probably. He's looked good in recent weeks as well. He's still.
Busta was what? Is he semi-finalist last year?
Semi-finalist last year as well. You got to remember he's been playing really well. He's the bronze medalist from the Olympics as well. Beat Djokovic. He's got a lot of positives right now. Not so much for the guy down the bottom side, Shapovalov. His draw looks quite good, but whether he'll get very far, I don't know.
His draw looks good, but he don't look that great. And I think facing a Hatchinov, I wouldn't fancy him.
No.
Hatchinov is coming into a bit of form. He's playing quite well.
Even Tommy Paul.
Hatchinov secured a medal in the Olympics. So watch out for him. He's doing quite well on the hard courts this year. And I'm not sure about Shapo's chances. He's got a nice draw, but he's just not playing very well. Gregors is saying in the chat, Zverev's never beaten a top 5 player in a slam. I believe we spoke about that on another podcast.
Yeah.
He's going to have to face one yet again, obviously, but not until it seems, because there's no top 5 here, it would be, the semi-final against Novak Djokovic.
Exactly right, mate. Well, should we move on? Medvedev is.
How big would that be? Zverev's first top 5 win in a Grand Slam would be Novak Djokovic in a slam. That's
you got to remember the last time that they played.
I think it's top 10 though. Top 10. I thought
it was top 10. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the last time he played Djokovic in a slam though, he lost in 4. So you got to remember that. Yeah, it's one thing beating him in 3-set matches. Try and beat him over 5. It's another animal. Let's move to Medvedev's section because we can't forget about him. He is the number 2 seed. I've just noticed that I've labelled Tsitsipas as Zverev there as well. So just bear with me. I'll get rid of that. I'll bring his one up when we need to. Right, Medvedev, he is at the bottom of the draw. Well, I think we have to go back to front on this one. So we'll go all the way from the bottom right-hand corner here. He gets Richard Gasquet in the first round. See him making light work of Gasquet, if I'm honest. And then quite a nice second round as well. Koepfer, I think he played him, and Koepfer took a set, I believe, last time they played in the US Open.
Yeah, that's right.
Not mistaken.
That's where Medvedev got to the final.
Exactly.
Koepfer did take a set off him. Just initially, I've not really seen too much of this, but I don't think it's as easy as you make out. You've got Marin Cilic, a champion. You've got, who else is there? Fekina, it doesn't really worry me too much. The wild card in Nakashima. I'm looking at the other side. Let's focus on this side first. Dimitrov, Cilic, go up. Dan Evans not playing very well. Is that it? Yeah, I think this side, I'll be surprised if he doesn't advance. Cilic is getting older. He's not that consistent. I know he's a champion, but he's far away from that, from his champion self. You've got to be honest. I think he would even admit that. In fact, Kohlschreiber could beat him. We know what Schreiber does in the big events. He knocked out, what was it, Karatsev at Wimbledon. He's a giant slayer, mate. He kills off some really good talent early doors. Dimitrov at the top wouldn't worry me too much. I know he started playing a little bit better at Cincinnati, but that's a tournament he likes a lot. I'm not sure about over the distance of best of 5 whether he has the stamina and fitness to be doing. I know he's had a few injury concerns and he's not playing the best level. So looking at this side, I can't really pinpoint any name there which worries me. I don't know if you're going to go down slightly. Is there anyone there?
No one really. I think Medvedev straight into the quarters, if I'm honest.
Well, no, not quarters. You mean he's got to beat someone from the other side?
Oh, yeah,
not looked at that
round.
side.
Straight into the 4th round. Yep. And then from the other side, we'll start from the top. Casper Ruud up against Joe Wilfried Tsonga.
Oh, awesome. That's a really good first round match, though.
I just don't like it for Tsonga. Unfortunately, Ruud's just on the come up at the moment, and he's just probably a bit unplayable. All that youth and experience against the experience. I don't think Tsonga's got the legs for it anymore. I'm sorry.
Something
Tsonga.
I would love to see for some young clay court tennis players on the hard courts is Ruud to Berner. If we get to see that second round, that'll be amazing.
Could happen. I think Taberna could lose here, though, if I'm honest, because there's a lot of good
qualifier.
Yeah, there's a lot of good qualifiers who are sort of battling it out at the moment. And if you get someone like a Chris O'Connell or someone like that, if Chris makes it through, I think Chris all day long. I think Chris on the hard courts.
John Isner, Nakashima. How many times have they faced each other recently?
I know. It's bad luck for, I'm not sure who. I think probably more bad luck for Nakashima because it's probably more than likely that Isner's going to be serving better than not serving well. Yep. And I don't know. I feel a bit sorry for Nakashima because we've sort of bigged him up a bit. I was hoping for a nice draw. He could have got through. I think last year he got Zverev, didn't he, in the early rounds?
Yep.
So not nice. Facing big servers again. Fokina, what do you think on that? He's got Gilles Simon in the first round.
I don't know. I think it doesn't really worry me too much. I don't know if I'm going to go down. Is there anyone else who I can look at and think,
Big Kev?
Yeah, Schwartzman as the big seed here.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I think this is a relatively easy quarter for Medvedev. He's quite fortunate.
I think so.
He really is. I think he's going to be rubbing his hands together with this draw. You got to get overcome Cilic really on that side, and then after this, a John Isner maybe, just a few big servers, a Schwartzman. I think Medvedev's demolished him over the years, especially on hard courts. I think he even bageled him one time, if I'm not mistaken, or 6-1 or something. And then at the top of there, you got Casper Ruud. I think Ruud's an awesome player. Don't get me wrong, I love him. But on the hard courts of America against Medvedev, he's been playing well, but not quite Medvedev level. And as long as Medvedev's arm's all right and he's not too injured after smashing the camera the other day, I can't see how he doesn't advance.
I think he'll be.
Just look at. I know we've just looked at Zverev's section. You compare that to this. Zverev's got a lot harder draw than Medvedev.
Yeah, I'd say so. I like Medvedev's section here. I think everyone's saying Djokovic has it easy. I think this is similar, really, if I'm honest. I don't think there's much difference. You can't call between the two. Tsitsipas, let's see who he has for his one. So I'll just have to zoom in a little bit on that.
Good. And this is someone who's not got it easy. This was one of the first ones I sent to you, I believe, and I had a quick look at this one. And it doesn't really get much harder. He's the third seed, and out of the 4 quarters, this is the toughest quarter. I think this eclipses the Zverev one. And all you have to do is look at the first match, and you've got Andy Murray, Stefanos Tsitsipas facing off in the first round, and they've never faced each other before, ever.
And don't you? I'd hate to say it, but ain't karma a bitch? That's what I was saying before. It comes around to bite you, and his antics on the court and stuff. He's now got a very unfavourable draw, and look at the names just listed up that right-hand side. I mean, who he could be potentially facing. If you get past Murray, who might be able to take a set, maybe 2. Who knows? If it's Murray in good form at the US Open, he's a champion from there, don't forget. He could face either Herbert or Manarino, both them pretty good on hard court as well. Then you've got maybe the Nottingham Nadal or Carlos Alcaraz in amazing form as well.
He just beat Martin Fucsovic and smashed him as well in some crazy fashion. I know it was 3 sets, but some of the forehands I saw from Alcaraz, incredible. You got Ugo Omba, who he's not been able to beat. He always loses to. This is just the draw from hell for Stefano Tsitsipas. I can't quite believe it. You look at Benoit Paire just above, who's hit form all of a sudden. You got Rinderknecht, a young French player who's great right now. You'd expect him to beat him, but it's just not nice. I look at this draw and I think, I'm not sure how he escapes it. Because if you get through all of them, then you've got a bit more experienced player, John Millman or someone like that. And it's just so tough.
Well, exactly.
There's so many good players. And I kind of agree with what you're saying. It's a bit of karma. All of them toilet breaks he's been doing recently. It's coming to bite him slightly.
You never know,
That's what happens.
And I know there's people saying Murray's getting rolled over easily, but all it takes is for Tsitsipas to have an off day. He's had plenty of them. Did you witness him versus Francis Tiafoe at Wimbledon? Just have an off day. Your backhand doesn't fire. You shank a lot of stuff, and your head goes down. Your dad starts screaming. Murray might play his best set. You saw what he did at last year's US Open. He made a little mini run at the beginning of the tour. He's only strong for the first few rounds, Murray. We've got to remember that. And against Hurkacz, he had set point in the last match he played. I think he actually looked decent.
Well, I'm going to make a big claim early doors, and this is maybe because Rafael Nadal's not in the draw. But Carlos Alcaraz, someone I'm going to be naturally drawn to. If he beats Norrie, I'm going to go big, and he could be facing up against a Tsitsipas. And I think this could be the real breakthrough event. We've looked at all the greats over the years. They have that one tournament where they sort of sparked onto the big stage. I think this could be Alcaraz's chance to do something remarkable. And all it takes is for one good run. We know he's playing good tennis. I know it's on hard courts. You'd probably say Roland Garros would be the one. But I just believe in him so much. And he's getting better and better. And for a young kid with that amount of fight and technique, is just incredible. Who's to say this is not going to be his moment in the sun and he does something which shocks the world?
I hope so.
I'm going to be cheering for it big.
I really do hope so, mate. I hope that this is his opportunity now and he can actually get it done. Come on, you're on the big stage. Maybe now is your chance. Now is your chance to make it's just your world's your oyster. This is where those Grand Slam greats are made, like those the next generation greats. You get deep into a slam in your early years. If he can do it on this tournament, imagine that was the headline. He beat Tsitsipas or something at the US Open. I think everyone will be talking about him. I know a lot of people are, but then everybody, he would be on all the back pages of all of the newspapers if that was to happen. I think off to the races then, because then you'd be playing. Well, look at some of these matches on the other side. Kyrgios, Batista, Agut. That's the one that jumps off the page, doesn't it? What a horrible draw for Batista.
There's so many. There's so many. I don't even know if we're looking at this from Tsitsipas's perspective or not, because does he even get out of his side? That's the question.
Wow.
Let's just look at this other side and its own thing altogether, because you got TFO there who's beaten Tsitsipas at Wimbledon. So let's not look at that. TFO's playing great on the hard courts right now. He's going to be a threat. A good Kyrgios, I don't know. It just depends how Kyrgios turns up. I actually think Kyrgios loses and a good wins that. We know he pulled out, was it 5 minutes before?
Yeah.
Was it 5 minutes before?
Shocking.
I'm getting a bit frustrated with him. I know a lot of the world are. Is it his fault? Probably not. He's probably just injured, but it sucked a bit, not going to lie, having all the fans there waiting to watch him versus Murray, and then he didn't turn up.
Well, a lot of them paying as well to go and see him as well. Because
they were desperate to watch that match, and they never got to see it. And no offense to Noah Rubin, I know we had it on the podcast. They weren't there to watch Rubin Murray.
And he just played a match an hour before.
And it wasn't fair on Rubin either, no.
It was terrible to put him straight back on. He said his legs were dead. He didn't even have any time to recover. He's a lucky loser. He just lost to, I think it was Puy or something like that. I don't know.
And then the worst thing is the lucky losers who refused to play then got into the second round. So you had Herbert and I forget the other one. They refused to play Murray, but then they got awarded lucky losers into the second round.
That's sad. Really, really sad. And I feel bad for Norum because I know he spoke out about it, and because they were sort of talking about pay and things like that. Because obviously, if you go out in the first round, obviously you don't get paid as much as if you go out in the second round. He could have probably just gone into the second round if he said, "No, I don't want to play Murray."
Yeah, exactly.
So sad, really, and unfair on someone who's actually a very good, very good guy and does a lot for the mental health side of the tennis sport. So I'm having a look down here, and just the name that's sort of jumping off the page at the bottom, Felix, looks like he has quite a nice. I think it's quite a nice draw, to be honest. I think if he plays his best tennis,
I think all of this is tough, man. There's not one little facet of this Tsitsipas quarter where I look at it and think that's quite simple.
No, but I quite like it. If he has a qualifier first 2 rounds, if he hits the ground running and blitzes both of them, he could be facing maybe Batista Agut or someone. I reckon he could beat Batista Agut if he's in good form.
Well, he did, yeah. I understand that. But then if you look at the top bit, mate, how's he then going to beat any of these guys? Because some of these are class. You've got Andrei Rublev waiting, who's, I don't know, playing very well.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. He's overcome some demons, beating some big players of late, notably Daniel Medvedev. So let's see how far he can go. I know he fell short massively in that final against Zverev, but he's going to be back, going well. He's already made some history, getting to a Masters final. Can he go far now in a Grand Slam? I'm not sure what his best result is in any Grand Slam, but I can't really recall him ever getting past the quarterfinal.
Nope. Yeah, that's where it's ended, because obviously it was a bit of a joke, wasn't it, that there was another Russian came from nowhere and just went all the way to the semis. Aslan Karatsev he bettered Rublev's best ever Grand Slam performance the first time of asking. I don't know if we're going to see it again, but imagine if the Russians do well in this tournament. I think there is opportunity for them as well. Hachanov's been good lately. Medvedev's been very good. Rublev's been great. And if Karatsev refines his form again, we could be seeing like the Russians taking over again in tennis. And I think it's exciting, though, because I really like the styles of all their players as well. I'm excited mostly probably for Rublev, and to see him and how he grows as a player. Every time he steps back on the court, I'm hoping he's added something new to get him a little step more, one step closer to someone like a Medvedev. We'll see. He beat him once.
The question I've got for you, do you think it's going to be as simple as Rublev plays Tsitsipas in this quarterfinal?
No.
Because I know you've got Gene saying it. I just don't think it's going to happen myself. Number 5 versus number 3 seed. You'd think in other tournaments, it's a real possibility. Looking at the draw, I think it's going to be really tough. Rublev, more chance of getting there than Tsitsipas as well, I would say.
Yeah, I reckon that you could potentially...
You could see Rublev there, but not Tsitsipas. Or you could see neither.
Yeah, or neither. I reckon you could have maybe a Felix versus someone crazy like an Alcaraz. Who knows? That would be amazing. Imagine that's the quarterfinal. Yeah, Humbert as well. Don't rule any of these players. What about the Gomb, mate? You've not mentioned the Gomb. He's up there.
I don't see him getting past Garin, so I've not really said too much about him.
No worries. I thought
the Gomb's going home.
Sad for the Gomb. Should I bring up the last little graphic? Because I know that there was... I think this was... that was just highlighting some of the first round matches.
Yeah, I feel like we've spoke about all of these matches, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Probably, I would love to say we can cover all of them on the live watch-alongs, but we're going to have to see how it goes with time, with work. We're approaching a busy period with our work, but we'll do our best to cover as many of these as possible, because some of these are real popcorn matches. Of course, Tsitsipas Murray heading the way. Yeah,
for sure. And for me, second, probably, I don't know if I can say second. I'd say Norrie Alcaraz. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Me too.
And Kyrgios Batista Agut probably next up. That would be my honest appraisal of those.
Is there more down below or not?
No, I think. Well, I don't know.
Down.
I'll have a little quick.
No, I don't think so. No. Sometimes they have more below, but that's all good. No, you can go past that. But I think there was another graphic I sent you of the projected quarterfinals. I don't know if you have that one there.
Yes,
not an issue if you don't.
I can just drag that one up. It was called like potential quarterfinals. Here we go. Yeah,
because we can talk about this as well. we start off with Djokovic. I know they've got Djokovic, Berrettini there. I'm not ignoring people. I know people are talking about Djokovic, and the title is this an easy draw for him? Some people were saying, I forget who it was now, but I saw them saying second round against Struff. How's that easy? He's beaten him every time he's played him, and comfortably. It is very simple for him. I think what we're going to find here is what we've seen in many tournaments, and it's not just Djokovic fans who do it. Rafa fans do it just as bad, if not worse. They always try and make out that their draw's a little bit harder than what it really is. I've seen it at Roland Garros with Rafa. They're like, that second round, that could be quite tough. And then he beats them in about 40 minutes in 3 sets or something ridiculous. Let's not do this. It's just a bit delusional. And I can understand why fans do it, and I'm not going to get on your back. But Djokovic does have an easy draw up until the semi-finals.
I'm a bit surprised. Obviously, they're just showing that due to the seeding of the players, but I'm surprised that Shapo's on there, to be honest. I don't think he's warranted a picture on there at the moment with his current form. I think that would probably have to go to one of the other players in his side of the draw. But he might prove us wrong. You watch. The second I write off Shapo, he'll guaranteed be in the semi-finals, probably playing the best tournament he ever played.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think I could say the same about Berrettini. I'm not even sure what sort of form he's going into this. He's not played much. I know he's had an injury as well. I'm looking at that there, and it's probably the three players or the three favourites who I'm sure are going to be there, and that's going to be Djokovic, Zverev, and Medvedev. I know Zverev's got a really tough draw, but this is why, looking at this section here, I'm not sure about. That's why I spoke about the Tsitsipas Rublev one at the top. I don't think we're going to see that matchup, and I'll be surprised if we see Zverev Shapo as well.
Yeah, I would be. Casper Ruud as well. You never know if
Casper Ruud can get there because
he can, but he could come unstuck. So he has more potential to maybe go out to someone than some of the others there. That's for sure. I'd say, like you said, the big three. I hate to say that because they're not really the real big three, but the big three in the tournament is Zverev, Medvedev, and definitely Djokovic. And I think Tsitsipas, if he gets there, you want to be worried because he would have beaten some really good players along the way, and it means he's in hot form if he gets to that semi-final, I think.
Okay. Nice one. I think we'll wrap it up there. We was going to do the women's one straight after this, but what we're going to be doing is the women's one later on this evening now. I know you've got to shoot off.
Yeah, sorry.
But if you haven't already, guys, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe if you are new. We'll be doing, obviously, all the brackets on the Draw Challenge website as well later on. Not today, but later on in the week when we have a moment. But before we go, Ben, what I want to ask you is I'll put you on the spot. I want you to give me one name from the men's. I know we've not done the qualifiers yet. Who you're looking at as a bit of an outsider, as a dark horse, who you look at. Not any of them names there. None of these guys. Someone else who you look at and you think, you know what? They've got a real good shot this year. This is someone who I'm going to be cheering on as one of my dark horses. I'll let you have a little look. So I know I'll put you on the spot. But I'll start with mine. And because I'm not going to let you take it either. And that is Alcaraz. Okay. I think it's a tough section. It's really tough. But he's the person who I've got a lot of eyes on. I'm hoping he can do something super special. There's no Rafa for me to get excited about. So I'm going full Carlito this year.
Nice, mate. I like that. Going for the young Spaniard instead. So you're talking like qualifiers or
well, it doesn't have to. It can be whoever you want. You have to be as wild as me. It can be maybe someone like I don't know. It can be a seeded player. It can be whoever you fancy, mate. Just someone who you think like a Humbert, that type of player. It can be anyone. Say,
Yannick Sinner, mate. That was after the draw and seeing he finally has that easy draw. I'm actually excited to see if he can progress.
Easy. Let's steady on the world easy. We need to be careful. It's easier than a lot of the other stuff he's been given.
Well, he's not facing...
Who's at the top of his draw? Zverev.
Zverev's in the fourth round, potentially. But he's got to get past Max Purcell. And remember, he's come unstuck to some of these Australians in recent weeks. So it's not a given that he even gets through the first round. But I think he's got to, surely.
Mate, the chat aren't liking it. We've got Van saying, oh my God, it's a Sinner pick again. And Gala, this makes me laugh. This is a good comment from Gala saying, Ben not saying Karatsev is the start of the end of the hype.
Well, maybe.
Because how many times have I asked you that question? You go Aslan Karatsev without much thought.
Mate, well,
Don't believe in him. And
there's-
we've got Almino, our patron, saying Sinner is losing to Purcell. Mark my words.
Purcell's been doing all right recently, though. So no matches are easy. We know that.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
I just like the fact that Sinner's not facing any of those top seeds early on, and Zverev will be the biggest name, and that'll be 4th round. That's got to give him some hope. Surely he must look at that and think, come on, just play my best tennis and I can get through to the 4th round. This would be incredible. And who's to say he might be able to give Zverev a good match if he got through to the 4th round. Be a tall order, but still.
So your dark horse of dark horses is?
Well, I'll just go with Yannick Sinner for now.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we're both going for young guns. I'm going for Carlos Alcaraz. Let us know in the chat who you think could do and shock the world. Who's got the opportunity? We've got no Rafa. We've got no Federer. Who's going to be the name to shock the world this year? We've got Matthew going Humbert. Hurkacz is a potential. I don't mind either of them. They're good shouts.
Hurkacz is a good one.
Vance going to Pelka was a dark horse, another young player, big serve.
He loves Opelka.
Let's see what other people have said. Let us know in the live chat if anyone else has got any other thoughts. Arjun going Ivo Karlovic.
Is he qualified?
I'm not sure if he's qualified, but he's going. I think he won his first few matches. Has he won his first 2?
He won his first. I'm not sure if he won the second one. I saw he won the first of his.
Yeah, I saw he won the first as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen if he's played a second one yet. But we'll be bringing you some qualifiers to watch, hopefully, in the next couple of days. Once either the last round of qualifying is going on, we'll bring you that podcast.
Yeah, we do have a qualifiers to watch podcast coming very soon as well. But yeah, I think a lot of the theme is Hurkacz, Humbert, that kind of thing, and a few big servers. Got Isner here, Big John, and a Pelka shout. So our ones are more wild, no doubt. Sinner and Alcaraz definitely getting wrapped up in the hype of the US Open, but that's what it's all about. Sport is about getting wrapped up into things. I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Let's do it, mate. Right. Well, we'll see you a bit later on for the women's.
Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you very soon.